What's up YouTube, it's Matthew here and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to go over a recent wholesale deal. I have the HUD settlement statement right here that I'll go over soon with you all, but this deal only netted me around $5,500, so it's probably my lowest wholesale deal to date. But I learned so much about wholesaling through this deal on how to talk to sellers and dealing with cash buyers and JVing with another wholesaler in town. So in this video I'll go step by step from talking and getting this lead from the seller and closing it at the title company. All right, you all, so I'm back inside. I actually have the settlement statement right here. I closed on this property a month ago on the 27th of May, but I just want to talk to you all about it. And I actually partner with another wholesaler in town, and so they double closed on this property, so we did lose out on some money because we had to double close on it. Let me see if I can show you all. You see that 5,500? That's my name, Matthew Leonard. So that's how much I made from this wholesale deal, around 5,500, which today is my lowest wholesale assignment fee. I'm working with another property that unfortunately I probably got a little too high, so it may be even lower than this amount, but we'll see. I'll keep you all updated on that. So now let's talk about step by step how I got this deal, how I found the seller, a buyer, partnered with another wholesaler in town. We found a cash buyer and we closed on the property. So number one, how did I find the seller? So I found the seller because I was already sending out mail to the seller because they had other rentals around the area. So they were an absentee owner of properties that they used as rentals. However, they called me about their own primary residency. Unfortunately, around this area, we got hit by a tornado and their primary residency was damaged by a tornado. So this was a tornado damaged property that I wholesaled. And so since the owner has already been receiving mail from me, she just called me up and said, okay, this is the situation. I'll try to put some pictures up, but the bedroom window, the bedroom ceiling and roof is completely gone because of the tornado, and the property all fixed up is probably worth around $200K, and they were looking just for $50,000 for the property. Went over, met with them, and we saw the property, and I offered them $35K. They were set on $50K. Talked with another wholesaler because I just didn't know what kind of buyer would buy a tornado damaged property, so that's why I JV'd with someone else, and that has a larger buyer's base. And so they told me, sure, if you can get it at 50,000, we can make something work. And so that's what we did. We got it at 50,000, and usually I posted a video about this property, about how I had to renegotiate things, just talk a seller into saying, hey, we're gonna stay with this contract. But usually I'm under the notion that I let people know I'm wholesaling in a way that makes it, easy for them to understand. I just say, hey, I'm not the one with the money necessarily, but I have investors and funders who are gonna fund this deal. And so if it's a deal with them, we can continue. And so I let them know when we're signing that agreement, so there won't be any surprises. But the other wholesaler that I was partnered with, they usually just say, hey, we're buying this property no matter what, because they have enough funds to just buy out a property. And they usually use, they have good relationship with lenders and whatnot like that. And so I kind of wasn't aware of that. So I was saying that when the other wholesaler usually just says, hey, we buy properties. So we had a little bit of confusion about that. There was this whole mix up with the seller finding out who I was working with, and they thought something, and they heard rumors about the wholesaler, but they were totally fine. They were complete lies. And basically I really had to save the deal because the seller wanted to back out of the deal. But my other wholesaler, he was all like, hey, I'm ready to go to court for this because we signed an agreement. We made a amendment. And so the wholesaler and I, we made an agreement just saying, hey, if this person tries to sell to someone else, that, things will show up in a title company saying we already have a contract with them. And so what we did, we ended up, the other wholesaler just ended up closing on the property itself, so the seller can be fine, the seller can be at ease. And so we ended up just closing on the property. He brought some money lender in to close on the property. So with that, because of the fees associated with that, we didn't get as much as we wanted to with the deal. So we had it at $55,000. I believe we sold it to our person for $67,000. So that's $17,000. But after all the fees and everything, it ended up being only around 11 grand after $6 grand of fees. So, you know, with the seller having this much stress and pressure, it did work out for us because it's better to get some of the deal than none of the deal. But yeah, if not, we would have split the 17,000. Each would have got 8,500. But because of everything that was happening, we had to close before. And so this is actually my first time double closing. I didn't personally double close. The other wholesaler that was JVing with double closed on the property. Yeah, so that's what happened in between finding the seller, negotiating the price, and finding a cash buyer. So they had their cash buyer ready with the funds and whatnot. And then now closing, everything went fine, went to the title company. The split was good, $5,500 to each approximately, and some change here and there. And yeah, and so some of the things that I learned from this deal is to, number one, if you're JVing with a partner, if you're JVing with another wholesaler, make sure you understand what they say when they talk to sellers, how do they operate their business? Do they come to the approach saying that they are the cash buyer, or do they say, hey, we bring our investors in, we bring our funders in to fund this deal, and that they're not necessarily buying the deal? Like, how do they communicate with their sellers? Another thing I learned is to really communicate well with the seller on what's happening, because she started talking to other investors, and they started making rumors about other wholesalers, and there's just some lost trust within this deal. But, you know, we were able to still close it, able to give her peace of mind. I kept on reaching back with them because I was the main contact. The other wholesaler, they were just in charge of disposition. I was in charge of, you know, just dealing with the seller, the acquisition part. And so I would contact the husband and the wives, just reassuring, hey, everything is fine, $50,000, that's what you're gonna get. There's no bogus checks or anything like that. What we agreed upon, you're going to get. And so I really upped my communication skills, I believe, with this deal, because it was very stressful, because at one point I was ready to walk away from the deal because the seller wanted to back out. The seller heard so many rumors about this other wholesaler, which was completely false, and they just wanted to fix up the house themselves. They had a contractor who was about to come in and just fix it up. But my other wholesaler, he really pushed me to, hey, just stay with this deal. We got this. It's legally binding. We have to close on this deal. You know, he doesn't like to put a property under contract and not bring it to full fruition, which is closing on the property. So that really pushed me to just say, hey, you know, unfortunately, we got this property under contract. This is a binding agreement, and I mean, if you want to step that, I mean, we are ready to go to court because of this. And with that, that was my first time having to say that to a seller, to talk to a seller like that. So I think in the future, I am more ready, more prepared for that, and just to communicate things well ahead of time before anything else starts. And yeah, and so my stress levels were to the roof, especially during that time. But we still closed the deal because I honestly, to tell you the truth, if it wasn't for the other wholesaler, other partner, I would have gave up on the deal. I would have said, okay, fine, you can keep your house, whatever, I'm out. But because he's done so many deals in his company and they're used to this, or they're not used to this, they said this is actually like one of the first times this ever happened to them. So because of that, you know, it really pushed me to communicate well and to stand my ground with working with a seller. And so at the end of the day, the seller did get what they wanted, $50,000. We got the house, we got our fee, and the buyer got a great house that they can flip, put money into, flip a tornado damaged property and make a good profit. So if you all have any questions about this deal, please let me know. Comment down below on how your wholesaling business is doing. Continue liking this video, smash that like button. More likes so this channel becomes more discoverable, and that other people who are interested in wholesaling or financial freedom can find this channel and learn a little bit more about wholesaling. Thank you all. I appreciate the support, and I'll talk to you all later.